Let's talk about what happens inside your body in case of PCOS. So, if you have been diagnosed with PCOS, you might know that it's a lifestyle disorder, but probably your doctor did not tell you about what exactly is happening in your body, what caused this PCOS in your body. It's not like a virus came in your body and then you got it. It's not completely genetic as well, right? So, it's very important for you to understand what is happening in your reproductive organs. Now, to understand that, first, you need to have a basic idea of how your ovaries function, how your uterus functions, why do you get periods, what is ovulation. All right, so it can get a little bit technical, but stay with me here. This is very important for you to understand. If you don't have this basic knowledge of what is the monthly cycle that's going on in your reproductive organ, then you will have a very difficult time understanding how to handle PCOS and how to even reverse the problems. All right, so let's start with it. Take a deep breath and stay with me here. So, a woman's reproductive organs consist of a uterus and two ovaries, which are connected to the uterus by tubes, which we call fallopian tubes. Now, every month, one of your ovary, one on the left, one is on the right. So, either of your ovary will be producing an egg, which is what we call ovulation. Okay, and in case this egg does not get fertilized, then the uterus, which prepares for a baby by building up a lining, a blood lining inside the uterus, it prepares for a baby. It is going to shed that lining as a form of menstruation, which is what we call periods. Okay, now understand about the egg's journey, which is produced in your ovaries. So every month, a woman will produce a set of follicles which are immature eggs. Okay, what you need to understand is follicles are immature eggs, and these follicles are multiple. You can have around 10 follicles coming out of the ovary, 15, 20, depending on your age and other stuff like that. There will be multiple follicles which will come out of your ovaries, right? And your brain then reads the signal that okay, is the beginning of the menstrual cycle, and it will send out a hormone called follicle stimulating hormone, which is FSH. You might have measured this in your blood test or hormonal blood test panel as well. Okay, so what this FSH does is that it does what it is called, okay, follicle stimulating. So it's going to stimulate all the follicles that came out of your ovary that month, and is going to grow all those follicles in size. So it's like ripening of a fruit. Okay, it's going to grow all those follicles. Then in the middle of the month, maybe around 13th to 17th day of your period cycle, if your period cycle is 28 days, the middle will fall somewhere around 14th day. If your cycle is longer, of course the middle will be different. Okay, but for this case, let's take the 14th day. Your brain will then send out another hormone called LH, which is luteinizing hormone. This hormone, what it does, it when it travels to the ovaries, it acts on your ovaries and it works on one dominant follicle and causes it to release an egg, which is what we call as ovulation. Okay, so that you are not having multiple 10-15 eggs every month. Only one out of the follicle will mature. All right, and after the 14th day, after the luteinizing hormone has done its job, your mature egg will then travel to your fallopian tube, where it is ready for fertilization, uh, which which is an essential part of your conception. All right, so this is what usually happens in a normal cycle. Understood? Now let's come to PCOS. What goes wrong in a PCOS case? So remember, I told you your ovary will produce immature eggs or follicles every month. That happens in PCOS as well. So, in case of PCOS, what happens over there is that the ovaries is not able to select one dominant follicle to mature and release egg out of all the follicles that are present. So, what happens is all of the follicles grow a little bit with the FSH stimulating them to grow. Now, why this is happening, there can be again multiple reasons, from genetic to stress hormone interfering with all of this. Basically, your brain is not able to communicate properly with your ovaries. Your ovaries is not able to communicate properly with the brain that yes, now is the time when you can send that LH to make the ovulation happen and select one egg out of these follicles. So in a state of PCOS, all those follicles are the immature eggs. They get stuck in that state. They kind of freeze in that state in your ovaries. And that is why you see polycystic ovarian syndrome. So there are multiple cysts that form because all of these follicles, they are not able to dissolve. They get stuck in your ovary, and when you don't get periods month after month, more number of follicles are produced from your ovaries. Again, one of them is not selected for ovulation. This is why ovulation also does not happen. Conception is a problem when it comes to PCOS, right? So all of these follicles, which are the immature eggs, they get frozen in that state of immaturity in your ovary. This can cause the inflammation of ovary as well. This can cause the swelling of the ovaries as well. And if you have seen the ultrasound of PCOS, you will see all those immature cells, immature eggs lining the ovary. All right, and this is what we call PCOS. Now, because of all of this cycle not happening properly, the production of estrogen and testosterone also goes for a toss. Your ovaries are a hormone production factory. Instead of producing the estrogen, they start producing testosterone, which is more of a male hormone. And this is why you see male pattern symptoms in PCOS, which could be acne, it could be hair loss, male pattern hair fall, and it could be putting on weight on the middle section of your body. This is all happening because the ovary is producing the wrong hormone. All right, so if you have followed along, it answers all the question: why are you having male pattern symptoms, male hormonal pattern symptoms? Why are you not ovulating? Why you're not getting periods? Of course, if no ovulation has happened, then the further process of shedding the lining of the uterus also will not happen, right? And this has also answered why in your ultrasound you are seeing that polycystic ovaries. Okay, so this is what has gone wrong. In my other videos, I have covered now what you can do to reverse this problem. Okay, yes, you can get back your cycle, you can dissolve these cysts, and you can make sure that your brain hormones are talking properly to your ovaries so that you can ovulate and get the periods every month. So follow along my other videos, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video.